Okay, here we are. Me and Garmus are here. We're gonna record Pickems for week 2 of the DPL. DPL.
DPL,
DPL.
DPL.
We originally were gonna do week 1 watch-alongs, but it kind of got to the point where we realized we're really making this video for 7 guys that are in there and have already watched the replays every week. So we're gonna switch and do more of like a weekly Pickems, so we can kind of give thoughts on what we think looks good in the matchup, and then kind of see how real or not that is, and then we can kind of direct everybody to the YouTube channels of the guys if they really want to, or we'll see what happens. We got a lot of videos this week where people weren't really doing commentary and stuff. They were just recording raw video, so it wasn't really be much of a watch along. On top of everybody in the league watched those videos when they uploaded them to the replays channel. So no diff. We're gonna start here with the planner. We're gonna go over each matchup this week. Unfortunately, me and Garmus play each other, so at the end we will put our matchup on screen so you guys can see it, but we're not gonna necessarily discuss what we think looks good because we have to, play each other. So it's a little, bunka. But we're gonna start off with Mort versus Leo, aka the Stall Kings. Leo is the guy that has 15 million backseat coaches. So GL to Mort. Just for record-wise, they're both 1-0. Mort beat Riot and Leo defeated me. And yeah, what looks good in this matchup for you, Marcus?
Well, something that stands out to me right away is Chandelure looks absolutely insane against the entire Leo squad, especially when you give it a choice scarf. Personally, I think Terra Ghost looks the best just because it's giving Shadow Ball that extra breaking power. Like with Fire, he's got the Fire Blast option. There's no fire resist here except for when Glastrier decides that it wants to Terra Fire.
Yep. Yeah.
Which is kind of insane on its own. But Shadow Ball to me is just, you kind of want to give it that little bit of extra power. Crook can resist it, and Crook does look like it's going to come when you look at this Raikou, which leads me to my next thing that I'd really, really like to see. I want to see CM to attack Raikou with an Adrenaline Orb. So when this Scarf Crook comes in and gets its Intimidate off, this Raikou gets its speed boosted. Now, they have the option to run the Crook Moxie, but I'm not sure if it's going to be that way because there's a Gliscor, there's an Iron Valiant, there's a Rillaboom. So it could go either way. But one thing is for certain, based on what I see here, I definitely think Mort has the edge.
Yeah, I'm not seeing a lot of switch-ins for this Shandymon. I am seeing good switch-ins on a lot of other stuff here for like Rillaboom, Tentacruel, Basculin if it's not yet Terra Rock if he doesn't bring it, but because Shandy looks so good, I don't know if Basculin will be here, and that would be Mr. Zapdos. I think an offensive Zapdos could, with just enough bulk to not get owned by like banned Rillaboom, could do a lot of work. I kind of walled by Gliscor, but Gliscor is also kind of walled by you unless he runs like Rock Slide or the fabled SD Facade moment. Archelodon is, he's there. It's tough to deal with, but like Tentacruel, you can beat Basculin, you can para this Rillaboom, you can eat the electric move from Raikou, you can bring Heat Wave for Fortress. Special Valiant is a bit of a threat, and I'm not really seeing a great way for him to deal with that outside of maybe physical bulk Glow King, but I don't know. If looking in terms of the matchup, this Chandelure is a problem. And as long as we keep Chandelure safe in the back from this Crook, if we're both Scarf, it's a bit of an issue for Leo, for sure. Chandelure is looking pretty fucking stupid. I hate saying who I think's gonna win, because I'm always wrong, but I would have to agree. I think it's probably like 55-45 Mort Leo, because if this Chandelure gets thrown away or just is in the wrong position and is dead, then I think it goes back to being anybody's game.
Yeah, I gotta agree. And something that you just said, this Gliscor versus this Zapdos. Gliscor doesn't even have to worry about the Zapdos static because it's going to be holding that Toxic Orb and it's going to poison itself. So it does look like, an SD Gliscor could really go insane here, although it's probably not going to get that speed boost. So Ogerpon and Cinccino, if it comes, probably come in on it every time, which kind of makes the Terra Ice Cinccino look attractive. It might not even need the Terra Ice for the triple Axle to kill, but it definitely makes it look like a good option.
Yeah.
More if we just cursed you to a loss by both picking you to win. Sorry, bud. That's the name of the game.
Yeah, I will also say...
I still stand by that.
This Encino guy is scary. I think Bullet Seed, Triple Axle, like it could kill a lot of the Mort's team if he's not ready. So it's gonna come down to prep. So we'll see for sure. But Caster's Curse. Sorry, Mort. We're gonna go next to the Blitz It versus Cal matchup. Obviously, we can see the teams on the page here. I am gonna start off and say, I think maybe I'm coping. I think Iron Bundle plows this guy.
Yeah, I have the same thing here.
I really do. Might be a fake out angle on Metacham and try to chip it down. Maybe we can, force him to put it in a bad position. But if Blitz plays as smart as he did versus Ryan, I don't know what Cow does to stop this bundle.
Well, I think the answer is in those last two slots right there. I think the bundle coming forces Cow both to bring Thwacky as a grassy glide spammer, but also to have Sneasler in the back with either a normal gem or a grassy seed ready to unburden and outspeed this bundle, because it will. I mean, the speed is so close that Sneasler at +2, this bundle doesn't have a hope to be able to catch up to that. So Blitz is going to have to be able to pivot into the Sneasler, which is why I think we could expect Quillfish to come, which is going to resist both stabs and intimidate it.
Right.
Or just a bulky Okidogi, which is also going to resist both stabs. It's just kind of fat in its own. I'm not familiar with Okidogi's move pool too much.
You're not familiar with this game?
Yeah, so I'm not 100% if Okidogi gets a move to threaten the Sneasler. I feel like it does. All it needs is like a ground move.
Yeah.
Really?
I just don't know if it does. I wonder if it gets high horsepower. I know most of them that we've, and I say seen, and that means, the 2 YouTube videos it's been in on like Aim's channel and shit. I know it's usually bulk up most sets in OU. I just don't know what like the stab attacks are.
Well, it gets Psychic Fangs, so it definitely can threaten the Sneasler.
Yeah, that'll do it. That will definitely do it.
That'll definitely do it. And that's the only move it gets to threaten it, I think. Oh, no, it does get high horsepower. Okay, so it's got a couple options if it doesn't want to opt for the Psychic Fangs, if it thinks high horsepower would be a better matchup. But looking at the team, left key's the only thing that high horsepower also hits. High horsepower obviously not being affected by the grassy terrain reduction on spread ground moves. Yeah. So it does look like a good option, but Psychic Fangs... it could go either way if he's got the extra move slots. But point is, I think Blitz is forced to answer the Sneasler, which you would be anyways, but especially because you practically force the Sneasler to come.
Yeah. I having just used the Sneasler, and he wasn't my favorite guy. He was alright, but knowing that it's gotta come and it's gotta be unburdened to not lose, the bundle just lets it allows the most counter prep, because Blitz knows if this thing isn't faster than bundle, then Cow's in a bad spot. So I feel like you almost have to you're gonna have to predict that the Sneasler's coming fast, and that'll let you, like we said, high horsepower Okidogi. I don't know what it gets to kill Okidogi. I don't think it gets a psychic move. Unless it also gets Psychic Fangs, but I don't think so. I don't think Sneasler has Psychic Fangs.
No, that's Sneasler's big issue, is it really struggles with certain types, because it's got its dual stab, but then it's got basically like Shadow Claw and Night Slash.
So it's for me, it's just tough, because the issue that I was having with Sneasler in a draft setting is he wants to be able to click SD, but if you don't properly handle what it can't hit yet, you're only getting one chance at the unburden. So it's hard, because I feel like he needs to handle certain things before the Sneasler can go for it, but if bundle takes 2 of those things out, it's looking real bad. So I'm gonna say, for me personally, this matchup is Blitz 60, Cal 40, and I hope that I'm cursing Blitz, because that guy has to lose.
I also think that Blitz is going to win this one. I struggle to figure out a percentage of likelihood, but I just think Blitz has all the tools he needs to handle Cow's team. Like when you look at Latios, there's definitely one Mon that switches into Latios every day of the week, and it's this Corviknight. He could just come in with a Spadef Corviknight, always get them off. It just looks like team-wise this is in Blitz's favor, but it does come down to how these guys play it, what happens on a turn-by-turn basis. Maybe Cow's P.E.K.K.A. Runt can get the RNG it needs to take out a couple of key players.
It's going to have RNG of a god, I think.
Well, it kind of had the RNG of a peasant this past week, so I think it's overdue. So Blitz might be able to expect that coming around and biting him a little bit. But I do think just purely team-wise, Blitz has the edge here.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and put that on Blitz. Hope you lose, JJ. Nothing personal. And next we've got Riot versus Ryan. Which I went first on Blitz, so why don't you tell me first what you like or don't like here? What you think looks stupid?
Okay. I am gonna piggyback off something you said when we did the draft recap in the opposite direction. Immediately, what stands out to me is this Ambipom.
Oh no.
We got 2 guys on Ryan's team that can run away with the game. 3 if you count the Superior. Gouging Fire and Blastoise both like to increase their speed and threaten the opposing team while they do with Dragon Dance and Shell Smash. I think Ambipom looks like a fantastic way to whittle these guys down. Just come in, click Fake Out. Terra Normal really stands out to me. It's obviously not going to do the job the first turn, but for Gouging Fire, between that and then having Lando T to come in and intimidate, and for Blastoise is never breaking the Suicune anyway. So if Ambipom can come in and then get the Fake Out off, and then we go to Suicune, Suicune should be able to roar out the Blastoise pretty safely. Other than that, we've got the Wheezing Galar on Riot's team with the neutralizing gas, which should stop Goldango's Good as Gold from preventing its defog.
Which could be big, yep.
I kind of anticipate Ryan, maybe he doesn't think it's worth it, but if he really, really wants to prevent the defog, if he thinks hazards are going to be key to this game, you might see an ability shield on this Goldango, but he might think something else is more worth it, like a Choice Specs or an Air Balloon or whatever the case is. One more thing that I think Riot has that gives him an edge here is this Ceruledge. We're looking at Gouging Fire. It's got access to multiple tools, right? It's got EQ, it's got Dragon moves, but Flash Fire on the Ceruledge just could give it an edge, pun intended, against the other team here. We're looking at Primeape threatening it with a Rage Fist, but other than the Primeape and the Blastoise, I think Ceruledge could threaten everyone on this squad.
You want to know,
minus this Knuckle stack at the end.
You want to know what would go absolutely stupid?
Tell me.
Mirror Herb Ceruledge, hard on Blastoise Shell Smash turn.
Ooh, that could.
I think it's so risky because if Ryan water moves, you're dead. But depending on the game state, if he needs Smash, it becomes even scarier. But I would love to see that. I also think Ryan struggles to break this Suicune out of Superior, and this Superior, I don't know if it comes or not. Obviously, it doesn't have hidden power, so that's, we're clicking Glare Sub or Contrary Leaf Storm. So
I almost think the Superior has to come specifically for this Suicune mon.
I mean, true, but
his other option is bring Toxic on Mandibuzz.
Yeah, and that's scary because it's slower than Suicune. So if Suicune clicks Sub and you click Toxic on Mandibuzz, well, we better hope we've got a Roar somewhere in there because it's looking tough.
Right.
But even Haze unaware, actually, even though I think he Serb has to come for the Suicune, he can run Clodsire unaware, which will help a little bit. But then we're not water absorbed, so will eventually get traded out on the whatever. But you can run Haze on Claude, so I don't know. This matchup to me is looking real 50-50. There's definitely win cons for both, and I think this will probably be the one that, if I had to pick somebody to say, okay, I'm just gonna pick this team to win, I'm gonna give it to Ryan, 51-49. I think it's not really a real diff here. It's definitely gonna come down to what six come, who brought the better six, and who wins the 50-50s. I think.
This might be our first disagreement here, because I think Ryan's team is scarier, absolutely, but I think Riot's team has the tools it needs to answer what Ryan's team puts up in terms of threats. So I'm going to give this one to Riot. Obviously, it's going to come down to what happens in the game, and I do think it's close, but I'm looking at this funny little monkey, and
yeah,
I do think
that's the breaking point.
Depending on how Riot plays the game, I think that has the power to get more value, and just put Riot's team in a really good position overall.
Yeah, I mean, as you know,
I'm excited for this game.
I love watching mons that don't typically perform get to perform, and I think the low tier Terra allows that. I mean, you saw what I did with my own Primeape yesterday. I love some of these guys that you just don't see ever in Nat decks get to be used. So I'm open to Riot showing me that Ambipom is a hitter. But until I see that thing do it, it's not there. The belief's not there. I don't believe in Ambipom.
Right.
And maybe that's just a Daniel, but we'll see. We'll see what happens there. So the last matchup we've got for the week is ours, obviously. I will say I had already mentioned not enjoying the utility of my team. So I said that based on how my first game went, I was probably going to make some changes. We lost my first game strictly off missing back-to-back Magma Storms, so I didn't go crazy, but I did pick up the Scream Tail. It's just like a little more. I get a U-turn, I get another rocker. It's not, Heatran. And yeah, this is the matchup. We're not really going to talk about it because obviously we got a prep and play, but Garmus defeated his first opponent. I lost to my first opponent, so we will see what we can cook up. Definitely some threats on both teams, and I think that's probably about it for week 2 of the DPL. It's only 8 teams, so there's only 4 Pickems. Nice and easy. Any closing thoughts, Garmus?
Nope. Really excited to get into week 2 and see these games. I think game of the week is probably going to be Mort versus Leo, just because both of those teams are 1-0.
Real. Yeah.
But the game I'm personally most excited to see is that Riot versus Ryan game.
Real. Those guys both lost, so somebody will get their first win out of that game.
That's exciting.
That's exciting. Always good to get a win. All right, yeah. So that's all we got. We will see you guys for the DPL uploads. If anybody's interested, I have my own channel. You're watching this video here. Garmus is at, what is it? Garmus GG.
At Garmus GG.
At
Yep.
Garmus GG, and some of the other guys are starting to make basic channels so they can upload their games on. So we might either plug them in the description or something, but we'll figure it out. DPL is out of here.